Everybody, it's Monica with your best female figure, and today I'm back with some really quick, intense yoga stretches. So I'm just going to get right into it. This is at 2 times speed, so if you are going to do this routine, it would take you 16 minutes instead of the 8 minutes that you see on the video length. So you start with a wide leg fold over, and you're using different props to come down lower each time. So after you do your lateral deep lunge, you try and go deeper and deeper. And if you can't use the blocks, you can always use something higher like a ball or a chair. So propping your forearms on something is important. And then as you start to get that lengthening, you'll start to be able to go down further and further. And same thing with the frog stretch. So this is how I teach these stretches in my yoga class, and we never really hold a position just in one place. You can actually rock around, you can lean from side to side. You can walk your arms around like I'm doing here, and definitely using props to start high and then start to go lower and lower as you start to feel that release. Now it's really important as you're doing these stretches to breathe. So what a lot of people do is they hold their breath thinking that that's going to make it go faster, but that actually just creates more tension, and it can tighten, the muscles so much that it makes it impossible to get a really good stretch. So another thing that you can do is to move back and forth between two stretches like I'm doing here. So I'm doing a deep lunge, and then I'm doing an intense hamstring stretch, which looks like a pyramid, and then I'm going into a lunge with a twist, and I'm adding, some movement with the legs and then the arms as well. You don't have to do all those variations. You can just do whatever works for your body. And then I go into seated twists. And when you're in a seated twist, those are really intense for your glutes and your back. So it's important to kind of like move in and out of it. So you're kind of rocking out of it and then you go back into it. Now this one is one of my favorites for getting that tightness out of your booty muscles that have worked so hard. So it's called seated rock the baby. And you just hug your lower leg into your chest as much as you can, and then you bring it down, and you either can go into fire logs or cow face, which is what I'm doing right here, and you can fold over or you can add some arm movement to that. But the important thing is to be alternating between different poses. So here I go back to the twist, and now I'm going to add a balance pose just for fun. You don't have to try that. It does help to stretch your core, but if you're not advanced and you don't feel confident with arm balances, then just save those for when you are ready for that. So here we are again, alternating between a deep lunge and an intense hamstring stretch, which looks like a nice pyramid. And you can use your blocks at any level to help you with that. You can even use a chair for this. I think I've filmed something like that before. And if you have a cute pet nearby, he can come and comfort you. My dog always likes to come in and help me stretch. He likes to stretch by my side as well as I'm doing my yoga. He's doing his doggy yoga. So here we go again with our twisting. And one thing that I tell everybody in my stretching classes or when I sub yoga classes is that you don't have to, take the stretch to the maximum. You can just stay in the positions that work for you. So if elevating your knee off the floor in a lunge twist doesn't work for you, then just keep the knee on the floor, or maybe don't twist so far. All these things are modifiable and adaptable to your fitness level and your level of flexibility. Again, take a deep breath. I realize sometimes that I too am holding my breath, so I just try, to relax. And here we are again in fire logs. Fire logs is actually quite difficult for a lot of people, so if you struggle with that, you can just cross your legs in front of you any way that you like, and then just kind of see if you can, fold forward a little bit. Even if your hands are on the floor with your elbows slightly bent, that's going to get you a really nice release through the low back and the hips, and also the IT band, so those areas on the side of the leg that connect to your knee. And then again, there I did an arm balance. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it on that side, but it worked out. Then if you can do any kind of rotational movement with your torso, so this is kind of like cat-cow, except you're doing it laterally. that also helps to release the core, so that then when you go down and do cobras like I'm doing here, it doesn't feel so harsh on your torso. If you want to, you can then add this stretch, which I can't, oh, bow pose. I always forget the name of this stretch for some reason. And again, notice how I'm going back and forth. I'm not just holding it. I'm trying to get more release. So if you just kind of let up on the stretch a little bit, then you'll feel like you can go a little bit further. Again, there I added a arm balance just for fun. And I'm doing a kneeling hamstring stretch, which is a little bit more intense than the standing one that I was doing earlier. And then I go into that deep lunge, seeing if I can get into that flying split. I can't remember the name of that pose, but it is one of my favorites. Now, splits are probably not something that a whole lot of people need to do for hamstring flexibility. It's something I definitely need because of my performing. I do splits in quite a few of my acts, or something, pretty similar to that in some of my acts, so I have to stay flexible in that specific stretch. And then once you have done a whole lot of really intense stuff, you can lay on your back and do cow face from a reclined position, which is what you're watching here. And you can also try and stretch the inner thighs from your back. And then this is really important. I teach this pretty much in every single class that I teach. No fail, I will always include this stretch. It's a lower body twist. And it is incredible for releasing tension in your entire torso, low back, hips. And then if you want to, you can add this quad stretch. If you go into it from a side position like I just did, it's actually a lot easier to get into than when you are standing or kneeling or any other version. So all you got to do is just kind of roll on your side and then bring your heel up to your booty. And if your foot starts cramping, you can start massaging it because your foot is right there next to your hand. So my foot was cramping a little bit. And then, of course, if you want to practice something a little bit more advanced, you can try a standing figure 4 stretch. It's like a single leg squat, and you can just hold that for a little bit, and you're really going to feel that lengthening through the low back and the hips and the IT band. And then if you want to practice an arm balance, you can try for flying crow. You can just do the prep, which is what you're watching there, or you can actually try to extend the leg back. That's something I am still working on, but it's getting better and better each time. And you'll also notice that maybe one side is a lot more flexible and a lot stronger than the other. We all have areas like that. So when you're stretching, you'll become more aware of those things. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it has been helpful. I will be back tomorrow with more exercises and tips to help you get your best female figure. Thank you so much for watching.